Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Welcome to the Orange Blossom Social. I am your humble correspondent this morning, Bobby Randall, and the whole crew is here. Producer and chief cook and bottle washer, the Apostle Paul, is with us this morning. Captain Kurt up there, and my sidekick, Fast Eddie, is here, and we are all here to have a big time. I've got the best news to start the show out with, and Apostle, you know what I wanted to do today? We don't have a guest, but we have Eddie, but he's kind of a punching bag. But good morning, Eddie.
Good morning.
Good. I'm glad you're back. I take some questions today, so we take questions from the audience and try to get some questions from the folks out there in La La Land. But I've got the best news. If you have been attacked by this damn T-shirt thing, and this happened to me. It started about 2 months ago, and in every one of my posts that I would put up, in the comments section, there would be a link to buy a Bobby Randall T-shirt. First of all, I'm not that vain. I would never do that. There will be no Bobby Randall T-shirts. But what happens was people would see it, and then I don't know what would happen, but then I had a few people that would say, hey, is this you? They were smart enough to say, is this you? And of course it's not. Well, I thought I was just targeted by myself, excuse me. But then I started noticing everybody's targeted with this, and mostly entertainers, I thought, because I'd see my buddies in Nashville, and they're mad. Then everybody's posting, don't buy T-shirts. I'm not in the T-shirt business, and, I'm not in the T-shirt business. And so if you have that problem, not me, my charming bride found a way around that. I don't know anything about the iPhone. I have an iPhone 12, I think, and all I do on here is calls and emails and text. All that other stuff, I take pictures. I don't know all that high-tech stuff in there. But my wife got my phone, for those of you that are troubled with this. And Eddie, have you been in? You know who I saw got hit with it was Heather's mom.
Really,
Sadie? Yeah, Sadie.
Wow.
And I love Sadie. But she was yesterday. I was looking at one of her posts, and they had a thing on her. So now they're just plastering everybody. But you can. Here's the cure. For that, if you want to know, send $25 to Bobby Randall, and I'll no. My wife had gone into my phone, and there's some way that you can set your phone so people cannot put attachments on your comments, and that's what it was. So, and I couldn't tell you how to do that because Sandy did it. But so far, in the last couple of days, I'm out of the T-shirt business. So I don't know how they do that, because they get in there and they get all your friends, they hit all your friends, and then they send this thing that says, buy Bobby Randall T-shirt, blah, 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 blah. And then they tag all your friends. It goes to all your buddies that said, Bobby mentioned you in a comment. You go on it anyway. It's horrible. Fast Eddie's here. How are you, Eddie?
I'm doing great.
I'm glad you're back. I didn't know you were up there in where'd you go, Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's where you're from. But I was proud to hear that you said you did not listen to one polka.
Not one. Yeah. No, not one.
But here's the question, because actually Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania polka.
Yeah.
Did you have hot wings? Isn't hot wings supposed to be a big deal up there?
Yeah, a lot of clubs. But you know what? All the places, the sad thing about Erie, I haven't been there in 20 years, and Erie changed a lot. And actually, Erie had a corner bar that had specialty wings everywhere. And then I moved to South Carolina, and we had a bar. I always said Erie had a bar just like South Carolina had Baptist churches, and it was on every corner. But it was they're gone. A lot of them places that I've played for years and years and years are gone. I don't even recognize that city anymore.
Yeah. Which one? Oh, Erie?
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody's hometown changes. Mine's changed a bunch. I like the towns that don't. Several towns, try to stay historic and keep all that stuff going. And the real little town that I'm from, about 4 years ago, the dam broke. It was national news. Trump went up there even to see what was going on. But the dam north of where I live broke and came right down. And I still have a house up there. and the inertia, that's a big word for me, of the water was so fast and so hard it went right by our house. Didn't even hurt our house, but then it went down and wiped out all these other houses. And then it hit the dam on my little town and went over that and completely took out the whole town.
Wow.
So the little town of Sanford, Michigan, the only thing that survived was Denny Cole. He's got Cole's garage. It was a brick building, but I think the post office building was in his building. There's about 2-3 buildings. Which brings me to September 22nd. If you're in Michigan, or if you'd like to be in Michigan, I hear there's a lot of folks going up there. There will be the second annual Bobby Randall Dam Jam on the 22nd. We're going up there with the boys, and we try to raise money because I didn't know this, and maybe you all know this, but the dam is privately owned. Who the hell buys a dam? So, but the guy that owned the dam, they told him that, hey, it's in bad disarray. And not the dam part really in the middle. It was more the, what do you call that, the dike or whatever that is out on the side, whatever that is, was bad. So they drained the lake. And then all the people, there's some, we just have a little house up there. I have my old family house up there that's on the lake, but there are people that have got big old mansions on that lake. They're PO'd because there's no water, and so they raised so much hell that they put all the water back in the lake, and then they said, we told you so, and it blew out. But the privately owned dam, the guy didn't have any money to fix it, so I don't know how that worked. Anyway, that's what's going on. What a great weekend we had again at the Orange Blossom Opry this weekend. We had John Barry was here, and he's just awesome. He's just an awesome guy, and I thought he sang awesome, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, he was great. Very entertaining, too. He knew how to work the crowd.
Eddie.
It was a great show.
Eddie, what is that on the stage over there?
Donuts.
Wow, somebody brought donuts. Lots of donuts. Okay, I thought he was great. He was awesome. And, of course, Cody was here on Friday, which was weird because we didn't do a Friday Night Live. And so I thought Friday was Saturday. And then Sunday, I woke up on Sunday, which was Saturday, and I'm kind of laying around. My wife said, aren't you going to work? And I said, no, we're off on Sunday. She said, no, it's Saturday. I said, well, I better get down there. So we worked Saturday. There was, I got a little confused. But, Cody is awesome. That whole Elvis thing is, that's a big world out there. Those people that do those Elvis impersonators, they're serious about that stuff. And he's, of course, he had the big contest in Memphis, and he won the ultimate Elvis, which means, are you the best Elvis in the world? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Best one alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said out of, what did he say, something like 85,000 people, there's only 17 people that have won that ultimate.
This is the 17th year. Cody was number 16.
Yeah.
And you're backed by the estate and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
So did he not win this year, or did you
only compete?
Yeah,
you can compete as many times you can, but once you win, you can't compete anymore.
Oh, so you win the ultimate Elvis once, and then
That's it.
out.
You're out, but you
Kinda
have
like
the
Joe
backing.
Biden.
Well, no, because you have the backing for
Out.
the rest of your career.
Oh yeah, well they don't have that. I watched that last night. I felt bad for Joe. I thought I feel I'm a sapsucker for guys like that, so I felt sorry for Joe. Anyway,
We actually have a question before we dive back into it.
Okay, no political questions, but go.
Nancy wants to know who you're voting. No, I'm sorry. Nancy wants to know, can we do a podcast with the entire band?
Can I do a podcast with the entire band?
Too early in the
like
morning.
at one
Can you
time.
get their ass out of bed would
No.
be the question I'd ask to you, because probably, we can.
Nancy, get a bus. Go collect everybody.
We'd have to do it at nighttime.
Yeah. Keith Horn, our bass player, ever since he's lived here, has been living in Mount Dora. But tomorrow, today's Tuesday. Today, he's moving over to this side of town. So now most of the guys are all close. Dougie lives up on the north side of Ocala, but Randy lives in Apopka, which is, I don't know my geography around here.
A little
ways.
southeast.
A ways. Yeah, it's a ways from here. So, but I could try to get the guys to come. I've had Dave, who lives right across the street here.
Chris sleeps in the back.
Yeah. Chris sleeps in the dumpster back there, so he, once we could get him up, it'd be all right. But I'll try to do that, Nancy. But if you want to see more of the guys on the podcast, I'll certainly drag them out here if we can get them out of bed. This weekend at the Orange Blossom Opry is the band. The band always likes this guy, Wade Hayes. Wade is a definitely an artist in his own right, but he's a guitar picker and a guitar and a good one at that. And so we always look forward to Wade coming. He'll be here this weekend, and the Orange Blossom Opry Band will back him, which is always a lot of fun. And then next weekend, Charlie Pride's son, Dion Pride, will be here, and he's been here several times, right, Eddie?
Yes.
Yep, and he's awesome. And he too is a guitar player. He plays a lot of guitar. So that's what's going on. And then that's going to finish out the month of August. And then
Anybody going to help you open for Wade Hayes?
oh yeah, you know who's going to be here with Wade Hayes? Thanks, Mike. Is
Give me some reverb.
is what?
He needs to give me reverb for this one.
I'm not doing it.
Do
I'm
you
not-
want to do
I'm
it,
not-
Eddie? Eddie
yeah.
wants. Can you help him out, Apostle?
Yeah.
Because
goodness.
Eddie gets a big thrill
Yeah.
out of we, as you all know, we had a contest, which is on Thursday night, and we picked the best singers, and we don't, y'all do. The audience votes on it, which, by the way, I heard on our next contest that there's not going to be celebrity judges, that the audience is going to pick the winner of the next contest that we do. And why do you, so that's good. And why do you say that, Bobby? Because the celebrity judges about beat the hell out of each other in the back there. They're arguing, you can hear them. Rah, rah, rah. So we said, let the people pick. But I can't say his name. So opening with us at the Wade Hayes shows this weekend. Okay, Eddie, give him your best.
I love. You can give me no reverb.
Oh, he needs more reverb.
And he's fired.
Oh, he's fired.
Okay.
You're fired, Apostle. What now? You got it,
I
Brady, now?
love. Yeah, you got it? No.
No,
No, there's no reverb.
Boy.
no. There's this board.
Cheap help's hard to find. You
This
know?
board's spazzing
Good
out.
helps, hard
I'm
to
glad it's doing it right now.
Okay.
All right. We'll forgive you.
Well, anyway, Ty Love will be
Yeah,
here
Ty
this
Love.
weekend. He's going to come out and sing about 5 songs with us, which is part of the deal. When you win the contest, you get to come on open for somebody, and he picked Wade Hayes. So it'll be a great weekend this weekend at the Orange Blossom Opry, and we will be back with our Friday Night Live on
Friday.
Of course, we'd have that on Friday, right? That makes just common sense to do that. And here's the good news about Friday Night Live, y'all. And I'm kind of a smart butt, but I can be humbled out every time I look at the ticket sales because I don't know why this keeps happening, but Friday Night Live keeps selling out, y'all, every Friday Night Live. And God bless you folks for showing up and hanging with us. That whole Friday Night Live idea was kind of put together weird, and well, I don't know, we don't know,
found it.
we don't know if it's going to work. And we rolled the dice, and to date, it's still one of the best-selling shows at the Opry, and I owe all that to all
Hey,
the
Bobby.
folks that come. Yes, sir.
Eddie, who's going to be here?
Who's here, Eddie? You're a sick man, Eddie.
Wait, hang on. We got Shirley Abel.
Yeah,
Happy
sure.
88th birthday. She's spending it with us this morning.
Awesome.
Shirley, are you here?
No, she's online.
Oh, she's online. Where's Shirley? Where is she? Notice I don't say where you at. It's improper grammar. It's where are you, Shirley?
She's on Facebook.
Well, great. I didn't mean on Facebook.
We don't know where she's at.
Does she know where she's at? That's the question.
She knows she's watching us this morning.
All right. Well, happy birthday to you, Shirley. 80 years old.
And then Terry wants to know if you would consider doing a Friday Night Live with 50s and 60s country music.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I thought you were going to say 50s and 60s rock and roll.
Well, some of that, I don't want to paint myself in the corner here, but music changes, as you all know. You've all been around a while, and like the stuff now, I don't even know what the hell year it is. What is it, 2024? Is it 2024? 2020. The music now, the country music now, I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it. I like the 90s music. That's where I was. That's when I was making records, and that's my favorite music. And I like some of the 80s stuff. I grew up on the 60s stuff, Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, and all that stuff. So I like that sort of stuff. And I was, in the 50s, I was still back in diapers. I'm back in diapers again now, but I started out there. Isn't that
Full
weird how that
circle. Yeah,
happens?
it's full circle.
You start out in diapers, and man, you end up right back there in the same spot. Anyway, So I don't know. Maybe we could. I don't know how many people would dig that. I don't want to take away from our audience, because if you notice on Friday Night Live, I try to play something for everybody. So we kind of start out at the first part with country, but 80s, 90s country, and then we drift over into 80s, 90s. We play some classic rock, because I try to play, and not crazy stuff like the Eagles and that stuff. So I try to play something for everybody. I don't know if we did a 50s night of country music, that would be Ernest Tubb, and I can play all those songs. Dear God, I know them all. I don't know how many people would
Well,
like
you
that.
could possibly do a 50s, 60s period and do country and rock.
Now, I can tell you this, 50s rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated
Oh,
that stuff.
yeah.
No, there's nothing I liked about that. I didn't like any of that stuff. But I thought there was some good stuff in there. But I like the 60s rock now, because, see, that's when I was in the 50s. I didn't know anything. I was just a little kid. But the Beatles and all that stuff, I like that. So I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. But what was her name? We don't even know. Shirley.
I think it was
No, Shirley's
Nancy.
birthday. That was
Nancy.
Nancy. Okay. Well, we'll try. Maybe we could throw in a few, Nancy, for you.
Yeah.
'Cause
Wipeout. We need to do Wipeout.
no, but I know
Randy.
tons of old classic country. If you sat here and named off classic country artists, I could sing you a ton of those songs, because I know a bunch of them. Anyway, more questions, and that's what we're doing today on Facebook, is taking questions from y'all. I'm also seeing if I can get this rascal out of bed.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up talk about
you got a record of the
today.
day?
Yeah, we got to talk about John Barry.
Oh, we do?
John Barry, not only did he do a great
Eddie.
show, but this is the last time he came here. This is the coolest thing. Anybody knows my record memorabilia type stuff? John Barry did the coolest thing I've ever seen on a record. On this record, not only did he sign it, but he wrote secret messages. Secret messages in the record. And this one here happens to say on one side of it, it's engraved in that record, it said, "Is it time yet?" And when you flip the record over, it said, "Going broke in style." He literally, every record put a secret message in the record. I've never heard another artist in history in any format do that. That is the coolest thing. And I told John, he says it was just some rednecks having fun. I said, that is cool.
Didn't the Beatles do that? You play the record backwards and it said John is dead.
Yeah, but it
or
didn't
Paul is
inscribe
dead.
on the
or whatever it
record.
was.
That had to go to a lot of work to do that, to do all that. That's so cool.
What label is that on? Because
It was just an independent label
Oh,
before
no,
he got really big, but still. Oh, the other thing that he did really cool is I said to him, I goes, "Was this your second or third record?" And he says, "You could always tell on the sleeve, it's backstage, the other one that I framed, he always put a clock up there in the picture so tell it was at number 3. He said, that was my third album. So every one of them, he put a clock to tell
On
what
his
record
record.
it was. John, that's amazing, man. I've seen a lot of stuff in my day, but that's pretty cool.
So that dude's weirder than we thought.
He is, yeah. He's from South Carolina. And then the coolest thing is before the show, I always ask the stars, and I know most of the big stars don't like any smoke and stuff. And I said, "You don't any smoke?" He goes, "Oh, no, I've got a production crew in South Carolina. Smoke it up, man." I was like, oh, this is my kind of guy right here.
All right.
Yeah, I was beamed. It was a good night.
Well, Eddie, as you know.
John Barry can come back every week.
The coolest thing that I thought John did that day was, not call security on you.
Yeah.
And have you.
That was
Eddie
too
shows
cool.
up with all this stuff. Hey, would you sign this? And that. But I think it's awesome. Well, that's a pretty cool thing. I never knew that.
No, I mean, I've never seen it.
I didn't know that
Never
about
seen it.
John Barry. I did not know that he did secret messages. Yeah, I
Very
think he
cool.
was on in his heyday the same label I was, but I was gone by then. But he was on Capitol Records, I think, on his big songs. I can't remember, but he had some awesome songs.
Rio wants to know, is Kenny Evans coming this year?
I think my book doesn't go that far ahead, and this goes into only into 12. We do not have the first year, but I think he is. I know we're going to do another Brooks and Dunn tribute show with Kenny Evans. I want to say it's in March sometime, because he usually comes back. I just talked to him the other day, and I think he will be back doing we'll for sure do the Brooks and Dunn tribute show again, because that always sells out, and Kenny's awesome as well. Questions here? You were telling me what's your Joe Diffie story. Let's hear you. My Joe Diffie story was pretty simple. I knew Joe before he got his record deal. Joe was a demo singer in Nashville, and what that means is, say a guy like Eddie or myself, we write a song, And we go, well, we don't sing very good, but let's get Joe Diffie, and you could hire Joe Diffie to sing your songs. And he did that for years, not for me, but for lots of people. And that's kind of how he got his record deal, because they were playing all these songs for the record label, because they'd go in and go, hey, let me play this song for so-and-so, and let me play this song for so-and-so. And they go, well, who's that? Who's that singing? And it was Joe Diffie. Well, that's kind of how Joe got his record deal. So his first record, which I believe was Devil Danced in Empty Pockets, was number one. I went to his number one party. Well, his mother had watched me on TV or something, because I was doing TV back then. So I meet Joe's mom, and it's at ASCAP, and we're a bunch of people there, and I'm there and everything. And so Joe says, hey, my mom wants to meet you. So I go, oh, really nice to meet you. And she goes, oh, bye, I watch your show here and all that stuff. And I said, well, what are you doing here? Knowing that it was Diffie's mom. She said, well, and then she was pretty sharp, because I thought I could get away with it. She'd start explaining why she was here. But anyway, what's your Joe Diffie story?
I was very blessed to
Real close to get.
I was blessed to get to know Joe somewhat.
Yeah.
In the 2017, 18, 19, and the way I got to know him was his wife, when he passed away, Tara.
Mm-hmm.
She's from the same hometown I am.
Which is?
Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah.
And my son lived right across the street from Tara's best friend. So my son is up at the grade school where I go to school, where I went to school, and he calls me on the phone. He says, Dad, you're not going to believe this. Joe Diffie's standing right here beside me. And I says, now you're nuts.
Yeah.
And Tara, who he was married to at the time, her young child was going to school there.
I got you.
And they just basically said, well, here, take a selfie, And Joe loved selfies every time I ever saw him.
Yeah.
And he just went back to Peoria every year for years and did a benefit for St. Jude.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just a cool guy.
Awesome guy.
Fun. We shared a birthday.
Oh, really?
Yep, 28th of December. But
20th is...
28th of December.
Oh, cool.
And he was 5 years younger than me.
Yeah, he's...
But no.
In 17, I was still with Confederate Railroad, and we had the same booking agency. And I did a bunch of dates with Joe Diffie in Confederate Railroad. We played a bunch, and sometimes we'd leave because we played first, but when we didn't, I'd go out right there and sit in the audience and listen. I could listen to him sing all night long, man. He was awesome, and had some incredible records as
He
well.
loved to have fun. He loved his fans.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
I think they called one of his records Regular Joe or something like that, because even his, some guys are like that, some guys aren't. Some guys get popular and they turn into a jerk. But here's what I have learned in my years in the business. They say, well, he got famous and then he turned into a you-know-what hole or a jerk. And I said, no, I don't believe that's true. I said, most of those guys were probably jerks to begin with. And then now that they got some attention, now you're just noticing that they were jerks. Because Diffie was just, he was the same guy when he was singing demos for us as he was when he was, making hit records. He was just they called him Regular Joe. He was a good guy. Yeah, God bless Joe Diffie. And yeah, we're going to, we do Is It Cold in Here, I see on your T-shirt. And we do, we just worked up So Help Me Girl. All of us in the band, every one of us in the band are big Joe Diffie fans. So we're going to learn that other song, Ships That Don't Come In.
Yeah.
I put that on the list of songs to learn. I always take songs that I like, and so that's what we do for Friday night. I post a song, hey, let's do this or let's do that, and I let the guys pick who they think can sing it. So whichever, I can sing that, so they grab it, so-and-so.
Do it on Jam, and I can sing that.
Yeah, I put Cat Scratch Fever up there for you, Eddie.
No. I can sing Ships That Don't Come In.
You can?
Yeah, we should do that on a jam night one night.
Give us a little bit, Eddie. Give us a little
what we
bit.
should do is we should do that on a Wednesday night, Eddie.
Eddie, sing for us.
We're closed on Wednesdays. So
I muted him, Bobby, so he's not going to be able to sing.
yeah.
Our good friend Wayne Terry said Kenny and Dave should get together and combine to make a Brooks and Dunn show.
Well, Dave, what's his name? Weed or Wade?
Wayne Terry.
Wayne.
We all know Wayne.
yeah.
Sits back here in the corner.
it's pretty funny. I know a guy named Weed. His first name's Weed Carey. Plays over at Barb's Barn. You ever go to Barb's Barn, y'all? He's a guitar player over there. His name's Weed Carey. I don't know if that's his real name, but
He's probably friends
Nickname
with
he
Bill
got from the
Dimebag.
70s. Yeah, it's a nickname he got from the 70s.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
How do you suppose he got that?
Again, friends with
Playing
old
steel
Dimebag.
guitar, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because Pothead sounded bad. Because Pothead Carey didn't sound good. I forgot where I was going. But, well, you know, Dave does a good job. Dave does we do a lot of Brooks and Dunn stuff, and Dave does that. But Kenny Evans,
Yeah.
and there's a long history of Kenny Evans and I that go way back. When Kenny was in his 20s, I was working for Sony Records, and he, I don't know, somebody played me a demo, just like Joe Diffie thing. I said, "Who's that singing?" They said, "Well, that guy's named Kenny Evans." I said, "Well, you know," and I was in a position at that time. One of the things that I did was artist development. So if you found a guy like Ty Love, you know, they would give me money, and they would say, "Here, go record some sides on this guy, and let's see what he has." And that was kind of how I got, how I met Kenny Evans, and recorded a bunch of sides, got him a record deal, had the single ready. Long story short, but even back then, he sounded a bit like Ronnie Dunn. And back then, that's when Brooks and Dunn were just hitting. You know, they were just coming out good. So maybe that was a good thing, maybe it's not. You know, people always say, "Oh, he sounds just like whatever, Willie Nelson or whoever." Well, that's not a good thing when you're trying to get a record deal on your own, because there's already a Willie Nelson, or in his case, already a Ronnie Dunn. But he didn't sound, he could sound like him if he wanted to more. So today, you know, doesn't matter now when we do the Brooks and Dunn thing, you come in here and listen to that Brooks and Dunn show, you close your eyes, you swear Ronnie Dunn's singing, because he's right on the money with it. So, and the band works real hard to play all those records, you know, just like the record or as close to the record as we can. And I'll take questions, y'all, from Facebook or anybody here in the audience as I just blab along, because I have no idea what I'm talking about on anything. But when we move into September, excuse me, as we move into September, September 7th, Ty Herndon will be here, and we're always excited about Ty. The band gets to back Ty, and he's just awesome singer. Just one of those guys, man, that's awesome entertainer, nice guy, comes out here when he talks to you, when he sings to you, you think that he's like you're just been buds forever. He's a great guy. A little history about Ty Herndon. Our little band, Sawyer Brown, won Star Search in 1984. We were the vocal group, and the male vocalist that year was a guy named Sam Harris. The next year, I don't know who won vocal group, but I know Ty Herndon, the second year of Star Search, won male vocal in Star Search, so that must have been 1985. So we're Star Search alumni, he and I. On the 14th of September, we got a little tribute band coming on Saturday, and it says the Georgia Satellites Tribute Band. Do you know anything about them? Yeah.
I love those guys.
Yeah. Did they, now, Eddie, you'll know more about this because you're a drug addict, but they, now, did they have more
I'm
than...
waiting for the election
What election?
when they legalize it.
Oh. You think they're going to legalize marijuana?
Sure.
I thought marijuana was already legal.
Probably 90% of the people that live down here have the aches and pains that qualify for it. And then the other 10% carry guns.
I'm not. I'm completely lost, Eddie. But back to the Georgia Satellites. Back to that. I mean, I didn't they only have one hit? I got a little change in my pocket. Did they have other hits?
That was the biggest one.
But
Yeah,
they
Keep
had
Your
other
Hands to
hits?
Yourself was their biggest one. Keep Your Hands to Yourself.
Yeah.
But no, I had some other ones. There
Oh,
was
they did? Okay. Well,
Yeah, they were smaller hits though, but that one's the one that landed them for sure.
Well, you have a song like that, and you never have
Yeah.
to. You never have to work again. You just go around and play that song, like
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus. What song was his record?
Achy Breaky.
"Achy Breaky Heart," which was originally called
No idea.
"Achin' Breakin' Heart."
All right.
Yeah, but they changed it.
But Billy
Anyway.
Ray Cyrus gets a raw deal. Some Gave All was a great song.
No,
too.
he did. That was a good song.
Yeah.
So the Georgia Satellites tribute band will be here on the 14th of September, and I don't know what that had to do with the legalization of marijuana, but I don't. You know what? I don't. I can tell you, I probably smoked pot 5 times in my life, and all of it was in the Army because that was kind of the thing to do. Everybody did, and I never liked it. If I would have liked it, I could understand, but I never got that feeling of whatever you're supposed to get. You know, even
You
walking
probably
around.
never inhaled.
Well, on the road goes that. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I took it through the channels, but go ahead, sir. Yeah.
We just found out that in Ocala, there's some corporation that had bought a building that was already made, huge, gigantic building, for $37 million, and they are going to cultivate marijuana there.
Cultivate means grow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
see, I'm smarter than I look.
Yeah,
In Ocala?
Yes.
There's already a building that's doing that in Ocala.
look. It's
So,
big
well-
business already.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I don't smoke pot. I don't even do that stuff. I don't even hang out in those circles. But is it? I mean, I don't understand. You can get a medical marijuana card, and then it's okay, and you got to go to your doctor and say, Doc, what?
Give me a prescription.
That's just indicative that they are going to
Oh, yeah.
pass the ballot
Yeah.
on legalizing marijuana. You don't have to have a medical card for that. You just go into whatever establishment that you want to, and they look at your license and make sure you know you are who you are, and they just
Yeah.
pass you right there, and you go in and you buy it.
We can meet some more of those happy people like we did in Colorado.
Yeah. In Colorado, they're everywhere, man. So
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
it's
Bobby, we
crazy.
got a question up
And
here.
that's question. Don't ever
Somebody
do that,
wants to
Captain
say,
Kirk, because I will stall.
You have you have two sisters. Where do you fall in that mix?
I'm in the middle. I'm in
In
the
the
middle. And my youngest sister lives in Lansing, and I always tell her she is the star of the family because my younger sister takes care of my mom full time, takes care of my mother, and she is an angel. And I love my older sister too. My oldest, you want to know what's wrong with me? My younger sister is a black belt in karate, and my oldest sister was a prison guard, and Bobby was the punching bag. So it would be, hey, let's go see if we can kick Bobby's arse. And so that's kind of how I grew up, because you can't hit women, right? So you got to kind of just, okay, you guys, come on. And anyway, but yeah, I'm the middle boy. My oldest sister's a year older than me, and my youngest sister's, I think, 3 years younger than I am.
My second statement to you, Bobby, is I used to watch you have a lot of talks on YouTube and Facebook, and I was real interested. And one time you were talking about Nashville,
Yes.
and you said that there are tons and tons and tons of people that come to Nashville that have really good voices. But the problem is they don't have the song. They don't have a song that they can say they wrote and they presented. And I always wondered, on your Thursday evening, you have your showcase, which is really incredible. And one of the things that I've always hoped that you would have are people who wrote their own songs and could perform their own songs. And I understand that you can't do that because that would be too much for you and the band, because you do a lot of cover songs. And what is your take on that, of having someone who does just their song to come up? And of course, they probably would have to audition so that, you know.
Well, here's the deal. This is my take. And let me back this so I can figure out what I'm going to do here. First of all, the idea, Roger Byers, the owner, and I have had discussions about doing an original night, a night where people played original music. That's a deal. My personal opinion is my job here at the Orange Blossom Opry is to put butts in seats. That's what my job is. And so everybody calls himself a songwriter. And I suppose we all write songs. Everybody writes songs. But how many good songs do you write is the question. And so I was a songwriter. I had a job. I went to work every day, and I had to write songs. That's what I did. That's what a songwriter is to me. It's the difference between a guy who is a police officer and a guy who plays cops and robbers on the weekends. What would happen is people get up, and I think they used to do that here, but if you're singing a terrible song that you wrote, here's a song I wrote, well, the dog died and my mama cried. Well, how many people want to hear that? So I've always found, unless you're in Nashville at the Bluebird Cafe or Douglas Corner or one of those songwriting showcase places, that people like to hear music they can identify with. Because if I came in here Friday night and I got enough songs that I wrote to play all night and played all my songs all night, how long before the crowd would thin out? Because I think people like to hear things they identify with. Now, I always tell people this when they say, well, I'm a songwriter and I want to play my songs. And I say, well, I'll tell you what, play me the song that's made you the most money, and then you're a songwriter. So we all write songs, but we're all not songwriters. That's my opinion, only because that's what I've done for a living. So look at it as the guys that play softball at the Villages over here, are baseball. I'm not picking on the Villages anywhere. Play softball. Eddie, you play ball.
Big time.
Yeah,
over
so
there.
you
You
play
don't want
ball.
to cut that out.
But are you a ball player, or are you a guy that plays ball? It's like you're not the Detroit Tigers, or you're not
No,
the
but
New York
believe
Yankees.
it or not, I played with a guy who played on Mickey Mantle's Yankees.
Yeah, so
Over there in the Villages, there's some big time ball.
well,
players
where I
over
grew up,
there.
softball was big too. It was big. Baseball was big. I played baseball for a long time, but songwriting is just a different thing to me, man. And I'm because I did that. We talked about. I'm going to move on. We talked about it. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know if you folks would like to hear a night of just people original music, but I know this. When I first came here, they used to have guys get up and sing a song they wrote, and some of them were pretty awful. So if you're a songwriter and you're here and you say, yeah, I'm a songwriter, if you're a songwriter, it's like an actor. You'd be in Nashville, you'd be in New York, you'd be somewhere, or you'd have a resume. I just look at it like
You might
that.
be able to add just something down the line to throw out there is possibly put one or two singers in there doing that instead of a part of it, because the times have changed with songwriters. There's a lot of people out there playing these little venues who have wrote some pretty good songs.
Well,
And
play
Ty's a
songs that-
perfect example of that. Ty's and a bunch of them that have come in here actually have taken your advice and write some songs, but unfortunately, they're not getting the exposure, and I think that's what Thursdays really is about, is exposure. So it's possible.
Well, even Ty.
Yeah.
Ty's coming. He's going to sing one original song. I said, Ty, you can't go out there and sing 5 original songs. Can't, because people just you'll lose them. And his songs are pretty good, but on Friday Night Live, I'm not saying this I pick every song we play. Every song we play on Friday night, I have chosen. And I try to figure out what you're going to like and what you're going to like and what you're going to like and what you're not. And sometimes we play a song, doesn't go over very well, out it goes.
Well, even the big stars, they're limited of like new stuff that they put in there because they know they've got to get the hits out there.
Well, let me tell you this. Here's an example, and I'll move on from the songwriting thing. In 1985, I was out on the Kenny Rogers tour. So it's Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, and our little band. So 25,000 people every night. We got one record on the radio. It's called Can I Lean on You, Leona? So I can go out there in front of 25,000 people, and what am I going to do? What are we going to do, guys? Because we could play, we've only played like about 45 minutes. So let's play all the songs off our album, and nobody knows any of them. What's going to happen? Are they going to, listen to 45 minutes of songs they don't know? So we would play songs people knew. We'd go find songs that people knew, obscure songs and things like that. So it's a real touch thing. If you're an artist kind of guy and you dig that, that's kind of cool because you like to hear original material like you were talking about. But it's not everybody's bag. And then if you got guys up here singing bad songs, it's even worse. So I don't, like I said, talk to Roger. Maybe we'll do an original night. We talked about doing that. We just never done it yet. Great question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving along. Speaking of Kenny Rogers, did I just say Kenny Rogers? It's going to be a Kenny Rogers tribute show here on my birthday. So the most important thing is remember September 21st is my birthday. But a Kenny Rogers tribute show here on the 21st of September. And on the 28th of September is a Toby Keith tribute show. And I'm pretty sure that's already sold out. Do you think it is, Eddie? I don't
know.
I looked forward and I saw that it was sold out. And
I know the George Strait one, I think, is sold out.
yep. And then moving in, so October's kind of Rocktoberfest, they call it. So we have. It's not we got, folks, it's we have. We have Rocket Man, Bon Jovi, Journey, and Pink Floyd. Yeah. Now, that's going to be interesting because so far, would you say, Eddie, so far, we've not had a tribute band that come in here that was I don't want to say flop, but wasn't very good. Every one of these tribute bands that have come in here to the Orange Blossom Opry have been phenomenal. And I've heard nothing but crazy good reviews about Rocket Man, about the Elton John thing. About that guy actually has clothes that belong to Elton John, which is a story in and of itself. Now, Eddie, you've got some of David Allan Coe's old underwear, but that's a whole different thing.
I've autographed Elton by him.
Autograph. It's got the
Yeah.
real deal, though. I mean, this guy has the real outfits that Elton John wore. It's an incredible story, and I'm sure that I think we probably have 2 shows that day, but I'm sure that show will probably be sold out if it's not already. Do you know if it is, Mike?
I don't know about that one. Kenny Rogers has still got some seats available. Still listed as good.
All right. Well, Kenny Rogers would be awesome. All these guys would be awesome. Every one of these guys. I have this conversation every week. Every week I tell you folks that when I came here, I was not a tribute band guy because I made my own music. I wrote my own songs. I didn't want to be somebody else. I said, I'm not going out there and pretending to be somebody else. That's hogwash. But here's what it is. The connection, as we were talking about, the connection is the music. That's what the connection is. And when these guys come in here and play that music, just like the record. And some of these cats, like I told you, Kenny Evans, you close your eyes, you'll think you're listening to Ronnie Dunn. And a lot of these cats are the same way. You come in here and you think, oh my gosh, well, you're able to hear, it's the music that connects us all. You know, you start out a song, whatever, and it's got an intro, Day Tripper by the Beatles or whatever. Everybody connects because that music is what you connect with. And I'll tell you a connection story. So these guys are coming in here and playing this music in these tribute bands, and y'all can hear this music as good as some better than what the guys are now, because some of those cats are getting old. Even better music, and you're not paying, to go see the Eagles right now. I think it's $500, and you're sitting up there in a crow's nest. So my music connection story is a wild story. I won't get into this. Sometimes I go around when I go back up home and I sing it in nursing homes and stuff, and I think that that's something I should do, to go kind of give back to people, because anyway, that doesn't have anything to do. I think that's what I should do. There was a lady there, and they asked me if I would sing to her, and this actually happened with my wife's mother, who was by the time I met her, was pretty far into dementia. And as they drift further away into that horrible, horrible disease, by the way, but as they drift further away, her mom and this other lady, they said, she doesn't talk, Bobby, she doesn't speak, but would you go sing to her? I said, of course I will. And man, you start singing You Are My Sunshine, and pow, this light goes on, and this lady who had not spoken for like a year starts singing along with me. And that's what I think the power of music is, and you can relate that to all these tribute bands. This music is what it is, folks. This music is the connection, and my butt will be here for Pink Floyd, because believe it or not, I was a Pink Floyd and all that. I love Merle Haggard, and I loved all that stuff, Buck Owens and all that stuff, but when my dad wasn't around, man, I was playing Led Zeppelin and how do they do that, all that sort of stuff too. So what about you folks? Where on the end, wake up, there you are. Where are you all from? I see you. Me, you.
Right here, the Villages.
Yeah, now, and I ask people that. I say, where are you from? And they all say the Villages, but to my recollection, no one was born in the Villages, unless you're 10 or 15.
All right, I'll give you a little story.
Okay, come on.
I was born in North Carolina,
Yeah.
raised in New York.
Wow.
So I'm a rebel with a New York attitude.
Awesome. We're in North Carolina.
Well, Camp Lejeune, which is Jacksonville.
I know about Camp Lejeune. Yeah. Were you a military guy?
No.
Oh, okay.
My father was a Marine. My uncle was a Marine. My son now is in the Marine Corps.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
he's an aviator. And he's in Miramar.
Gotcha. And
California.
whereabouts in New York? Where you from?
Long Island.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, not the city. Let's not go there.
What? Oh, Long Island? I don't know. I played in a band with it. Yeah, one of yeah, I want to say he's from oh, no, he's from Staten Island. What's the difference, Staten Island and Long Island?
All right.
Different attitude or just,
Oh, yeah.
oh, no, really? All right.
Yeah, you got the city folk, and then you have the people that live outside the city.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's from Staten Island. You don't have New York.
Well, Staten Island is more like Long Island because a lot of the people, it's a different culture there.
Yeah.
Even though it's part of the city.
Yeah, yeah.
But like Long Island, you have 2 counties, Brooklyn and Queens. It's part of Long Island.
I got you.
Then you got Nassau County and Suffolk County. Well, I lived in Suffolk County, and I was out halfway.
Okay.
So
And how long you been in the villages?
a couple of years, but
Yeah.
I've moved the family down out of New York back in '94.
Oh, I got you. So you've been down here a while.
Yeah, I've lived in North Fort Myers since '95.
Awesome. All right. And so I've lived in Florida full time about 3 years, and I'm still not used to the heat. Just, did you get used to the heat after a while? They say you
Yeah,
do.
I'm an air conditioning mechanic, so I was up in attics,
Oh.
roofs, and yeah, the first year was it was rough.
Yeah. When I moved to Nashville, which was 1977, I went to church at Tusculum Hills Baptist Church, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew one person, and this person went to church there. I went there. Anyway, this guy goes, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" "I'm going to be a musician." "Yeah, like, right, sure you are." Everybody, I said, "Well, I want to be a star." Yeah, so did everybody that moved to town. But anyway, he said, "Well, I own an insulation company." And he said, "If you want to work a little bit, while you're trying to do something." I said, and I moved to Nashville in August. And I said, "Well, yeah, okay, I'm still trying to find jobs and kick around and everything." I think I did that job less than a week. First time they put me up in that attic, blowing that insulation in Nashville when it's 200 degrees, I went, "I'm out." So
That's the only thing I don't like about my trade. I have to deal with the fiberglass insulation.
oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not even so much the attic, because you can learn. You have to learn how to deal with the heat.
Well, that's what my wife said. "Just deal with it." I said, "I do, honey. I just go and sit on the couch."
Well, that
what-
doesn't help.
"What are you doing?" "I'm dealing with the heat. I'm sitting outside." All right. Anyway, well, God bless you. Then we're going to move into November, y'all. And we still have the same kind of behavior because we have Fleetwood Mac coming, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Queen tribute band. Now, there's another thing. See, man, Eddie, if you're going to be in a Queen tribute band, you got to be able to sing.
Yeah.
Because Freddie Mercury was unbelievable, right?
Yes.
I mean, that dude, he wouldn't know Eddie.
It could be, a lot of people think he's the best frontman ever, and he's right there probably in the top 5 for sure.
Well, who would you say, Eddie, is your top front man? Because I know who I think mine is.
Yeah, I surprise you. Because of...
Front man, you know what that means. The
yeah.
guy in the band, the guy that's up front that kind of that's what I am in this band as a front man. And so I'm not the best front man. But who's the best front man? Who do you think, ma'am?
2 of 'em.
There's nobody behind you. You said somebody behind me said something. There's nobody behind you. All right.
Mine 2 favorite? I'm
No,
2.
just one. Hi, ma'am. What's your name?
My name is Marty, and I am from Peoria.
Another guy from
See,
Peoria.
I thought he didn't. It didn't sound like that's Ario. That's where we're headed.
Oh, there you go.
All them guys
Yeah.
from Ario from Peoria.
Yes, sir.
Peoria.
Yeah.
Peoria.
that's-
No,
that's-
I swear somebody said your name as far as the best front man. Whether it was from behind me or in front, I don't know for sure.
Well,
But
both those guys work here, so you can guarantee they weren't saying.
Yeah.
You might have missed a swear word before my name, or after my name. But anyway, who's your favorite front man?
Not to embarrass you, but I've been following you for about 5 years, all of the time that you've been here, and I think you're super.
Oh, that's awesome. I wondered who that was. You got that red car? Is that who? Because I seen somebody following me. I figured that. No.
Well, usually a front man is the lead vocalist.
Well,
When I'm in the audience, you'll hear me say something that is associated with me, which is an acronym.
Ah, that is an acronym.
Yeah.
Well,
Win others over, help others out.
well, thank you so much. We sure appreciate you. Well, not always. You know, if you ever go see Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band, he's not the lead singer.
Yeah, he sings.
Yeah, but he's not the lead singer.
Right.
So anyway,
Eddie, who's your guy?
who's your guy anyway?
And I'm really torn between two, but I got to go with Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon. That dude
course
knows
you
how.
would, REO.
No, you gotta. You're talking. Frontman is more than just quality of singing. It's how you interact with the crowd. If you've ever seen REO Speedwagon, you know what I'm talking about.
Well,
They're a
how many
great
times?
live
How
band.
many times have you seen them? 200?
44.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Apostle,
reason for that.
Apostle, who's yours?
You know, and I'm kind of torn as well. I'm gonna go with Prince just for everything that he could do and accomplish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain, you got one? Nope, he's out.
Nah.
Okay, well, I'm telling y'all crazy because there's nobody that's a better frontman than Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones.
Oh no, he's
Come
right
on.
there. Yeah, he's definitely top 5 for
Come
sure.
on, Jagger's out there. He's the man. He's 2 years older than
Yeah.
our president.
Yeah, he's a
and
Superman.
Look, he's like 82 or something,
not a
running
good-
around doing backflips at 80,
Apples and oranges.
at
Yeah,
82.
no. You got to almost divide that into music categories of where you're going. You know,
Yeah,
who's your, nobody even mentioned country music. Now, there's some great frontmen in country music. You know, you worked with a great one.
Well-
you know, there's some of them that are just really, really know how to light up an audience. Live bands. Some of them maybe in the studios might not be that great, but live they know how to turn it on.
Well, let me say this, and I did. I have to give credit because I probably worked with one of the best frontmen in country music
Yeah.
because Mark Miller's awesome. He's awesome. He's a great, he dances, he runs around. He's no spring chicken either. You know, I think he's 65.
I'm shocked he didn't like throw out a hip or the way he was dancing across the stage.
He did break a leg one time, didn't he?
Yeah, well, in my day, I was in there with him, but I don't know about that anymore. But let me. So then we're talking about great frontmen running around. If you ever go see George Strait, he's like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
But on the same hand, just sold more tickets than anybody else. Sold 100 and some odd thousand tickets, hard ticket sales at some place. So, you know, I don't know if it's about all that jumping around and running around.
No,
'cause-
but it's
and he's a
definitely-
guy, for your songwriter guy, never wrote a song. George Strait never wrote one
And
of those
that
songs.
mic stand next to you moves more than he did on.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
I've
always
seen
I'm
several
not,
of his shows.
I'm not beating up on George Strait. I love George Strait.
Great
but
show, great. But he stands there, and I like to be entertained, and I just don't think.
I wish he would at least learn some chords on the guitar. Because most of the time he just holds the guitar.
You don't need to. You don't
Well,
need to.
you draw 100 and some odd thousand people, you don't have to. So there's, there's pros and cons, I reckon. There's something for everybody. But George is a guy that's had, 50 or 50 some number one hits and never wrote one of them. And a lot of people think he wrote all those songs. He didn't write any of them. So,
I got to throw this out there.
yeah.
Because I think it's kind of cool. Debbie Frey Johnson is listening from Milk, Austria.
Wow. Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
I know where that is. Isn't that right? It's right below, right below Peoria, isn't it? Well, good morning. See, if you're in Austria, she's got to be 7 hours ahead of us. So it's, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon where she is. Thank you for listening, and we love you. We'll be in Austria next month.
And Karen DeVries is going to be here next Tuesday because there's no Bible study.
Ah, well, what's happening, as you can tell, for those of you who've been watching the show, this has become the Weirsdale Tuesday morning Bible study. Yeah, right, guys? Yeah, probably not. Anyway, so then we move on into December, everybody. And December, there will be no more Friday Night Lives, but there will be lots of Christmas shows for y'all. I think we're going to do 10 shows this year in 8 days. So I have some of the dates, but some of them, a lot of shows are on Sunday.
8 shows, Bobby.
Oh, we're not doing 10?
8 is what Captain Kurt's saying.
That'll change.
No, there's 8 days. I know that.
that's-
There's 8 days we're doing because I think we're doing Christmas shows,
Yeah,
12,
10 o'clock,
13, 14.
10 a.m. matinees, I think.
Yeah,
I
there's a
heard.
couple of those days that are 2 shows.
2 shows.
2 shows a day. But anyway, that's so come see one of our Christmas shows because I have to work my tail off. As a matter of fact, we're going in the studio this afternoon to try to figure out what I'm doing. The boss always comes and tells me, man, the Christmas shows have all sold out. They're awesome. And I never tell the boss, there is no Christmas show. But I'm working on it. So
You normally tell them after the fact.
Yeah.
yeah, after it's all sold out, I figure, well, I better get to it. Actually, I'm early this year. What is this, August? Yeah, August, and I'm working on it now. So last year, I waited a little late because I don't know why I did, but I was right up against the wall just going, oh, what am I going to do?
I always tell them, have faith. I'm not sure it works, but I always tell them, the boss,
Yeah.
just have faith.
Yeah, no, just trust me, boss. Yeah, the boss is out of town this weekend, y'all, so we can tear this place up. Actually, they're on a well-deserved vacation, and they're going to they flew to Denver yesterday, and I think they're going up into Wyoming and all of that stuff.
Red Rocks.
Yeah, they're going to a concert at Red Rocks. They're
Yeah.
going to see.
John Fogerty.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that one.
I think weed's legal in
All right,
Colorado,
enough,
right?
Eddie.
I heard he's great, and I heard doesn't he have 2 of his kids in his band or something like that?
Oh, he's awesome, man. John Fogerty.
Well, he's another guy that's got to be. He's older than I am,
Yeah.
so he's got to be 100 and something. But he still sings really good. And
Yeah, he
and
does.
that voice, when he was a kid, all those songs he was screaming, take me back down. How's the voice hold up for that?
Oh.
And then a guy like you, Eddie, being the belter you were, I mean, you still. I would say this about Eddie and his singing. Eddie, you sing as good today as you ever did.
Yeah, pretty much.
Consistency.
You'll read into that.
That's why I'm behind the scenes.
You'll read into that and figure that out later. But awesome. Well, anyway, I think we still got a little time left. If we got any other questions out there?
Well, if you're wondering where all the tickets went, Connie apparently booked 20 of them for December 8th.
Who did?
Connie,
For December 8th. What's
yep,
going?
I guess it's a Christmas show maybe?
Let's see.
Oh, boy,
Yeah,
the first
she, already-
one.
she bought
She's
20
brave.
tickets.
We're closed December 8th.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. No, no, we have a show.
So look out for scalpers.
That's the first one?
Connie's out there scalping tickets.
I think that's the first Christmas show. Is because on Thursday they do this thing called the Ugly Sweater thing. I have never participated in that, Eddie.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a story, y'all? I guess I'm sure he's not listening. But when I was in Sawyer Brown, and people still do this now, and God bless you folks that do that. They bring you gifts, and I'm always humbled by that. And sometimes I feel like if they bring me nice stuff, I don't like to wear it because I just feel like I'm not. You shouldn't do that. Don't buy me anyway. So
Don't
every year this person would buy me a sweater, and I don't wear sweaters, but it was a really nice sweater, and I got it every year for I don't know 8 or 10 years, and hope my brother-in-law is not listening. And every year I'd repackage it and give it to my brother-in-law for Christmas. So he got a sweater every year for Christmas for years from me, and it was a re-gift. So
Somebody bought you donuts, and you're going to wear those.
yeah, somebody brought
He'll
donuts
eat
today.
those.
Who brought donuts over there?
He'll
brought
eat
oh,
them.
you did. God bless you.
Yeah, you're going to wear them.
Yeah, I'll probably wear
that's
them.
right.
You brought enough for crying out loud. So yeah, I'll dive into one of those. But we might go have breakfast down the street, and then we got to be in the studio. Are we heading that way, Apostle? So lots of good things going on at the Orange Blossom Opry, everybody. And I say this to everybody watching. In the last couple years, the Opry has their footprint. When I came here, and it had nothing to do with me, but when I came here, this little country thing that was just kind of going on. And in the last few years, this place has exploded and becoming more of a national footprint. People all over the country listening to our silly podcast, people listening to Friday Night Lives and listening to that stuff. And so I say all that to say, if you're interested in coming to one of the shows, you need to look at tickets out a ways, because what happens is almost all these shows are selling out. And surely, after the first of the year, when the what do they call them? Eddie?
National acts.
No. Who's the people that come from up north down? Bigfoot.
Oh, snowbirds.
Snowbird. Well, snowbirds, Bigfoot, whatever. When they come down from up north, when Bigfoot gets here, snowbirds get here. Is what I wanted to say.
And a lot of traffic.
Yeah, well, that's true. But the shows will all be sold out. So if you're interested in getting a show, get on it here and get some tickets, sir. Apostle, you good? Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say, you were making comments about how good the tribute acts and stuff are. I've worked with a lot of bands, and this band, those of you that don't come here on Friday nights to actually listen to them, we've actually got dings from YouTube and Facebook that you guys sound exactly like the originals.
yeah.
And that speaks volumes on you guys. So.
Well, it's one of the things I try to do, and here's what I think part of the success is with Friday Night Live is I'm not taking away from anybody. I'm just telling you what works for me and what works here. So don't take this as I'm putting anybody down, because I never do that. Being a guitar player is the same as being a songwriter. You want to go home and write a song? God bless you. You want to write a song and you play guitar and you play guitar. But there's a whole different level between people that play guitar and people that are guitar players. I say the same thing. Our bass player in this band, if he's not in the top 10 bass players in the country, and in the country. So I always give credit to Roger and Heather for letting me go after these guys, because it costs a little money to get them. But I said, you let me get the best players I can get in the United States, the best players. You can't hear people that play like this anywhere else. And then we put our music together and we pick great songs and then we try to play them exactly like the record. It's a win-win situation. And a typical example is just pick out any song. Everybody sings Boot Scootin' Boogie. Everybody sings Boot Scootin' Boogie. And mostly in the wrong key and just bang, bang away. There's a whole difference between when you play it exactly like the record. That means pick it apart, find out what that guitar sounds like, and play it just like that. Get that tone, get that background. We don't have the original lead vocal, because of course we don't, but everything else we try to sound. We close our show with Hotel California, and I've picked that song apart from top to bottom. The only thing we don't have is the original singer, Don Henley. Keith sings the fire out of it. So that's the success of a good, if we are a cover band. Now we're not a tribute band, but we have to play, those tribute bands are going to play all of Pink Floyd's music. We have to play everybody's music, and I appreciate that, because I feel out of all the bands I've been in, I've been in a couple famous bands, I still feel this is the best band I've ever been in, and it kind of shows. So,
little quick we've got to make sure you like the videos. Whenever you share and like it, that means whenever we go live, you're going to get a notification.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, Opry's doing something live. Let me check it out. So
yeah, I know what he said. You're on a roll. I don't know any of that stuff. I could barely get my phone to come on.
And song request at oboopry.com.
Yeah, if you got a song, you can send it to OBO. What is it, Mike?
Song requests at oboopry.com.
Yeah, song requests. And people send in weird stuff that's probably never going to happen. But a lot of times you send in songs I try to get to you. So we're going to run. God bless all you folks. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for the donuts, buddy. God bless you, and God bless the United States. See you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.